all the traffic in the town runs through, or ran through, the CBD. And part of that's driven by the hills that surround Whangarei. So we've got hills on two sides that funnel all the traffic in Whangarei through one or two roads. That generates traffic problems for Whangarei greater than what a town of our size would normally experience.
So the whole idea of the project was to pull traffic away from the CBD, pull it onto this new route so that if it didn't need to go through the CBD, if it was heading to the south or to the west, out to Manu Way, then it could just peel off, didn't have to go through the CBD, would link up with Pohe and Yav, and then they can just go through without having to disrupt all the other traffic that's actually got some, some reason to be in the CBD at the time.
We also took the opportunity to build an iconic structure rather than just a standard bridge. And that's where the idea came to invite a competition for design to build an iconic structure. That was our objective.
And the word iconic, it had to be built within the structure rather than something that was clipped on like a bit of fruit on the side. And if you look at the bridge, what you see is that the actual moving part is the iconic bit.
The type of bascule that they've gone for on this, again, puts it as only, I think, about one of 3 or 4 in the world of this type. I'm not sure if we'll see the likes of something like this again in the country in the next 10 or 20 years.
At the time that the project was committed to by council, there was a lot of negative reaction from the community. There was a lot of naysayers and people saying, why are we spending $30 million on a bridge?
The funding came from the national government's economic stimulus package that they put out 2 or 3 years ago to stimulate economic activity, particularly in the regions.
There was a need for some economic stimulus in the town, and this project was seen to be one that could actually drive the town forward, provide job opportunities and stimulate the economy.
With 61% of the funding was spent locally. I know the council set a target of 45%, and 61% was spent here.
The council put in about $17 million into the project, and at least 17.5 has gone back into the local community through local businesses, whether they're construction consultants or other. Even suppliers of materials. So basically every dollar that council spent has been re-injected into the local economy.
Being a local contractor means that the cost for the electrical installation was put back in the local economy again, because all the people involved in this project, they are living in Whangarei, they're paying rates, and it's like a circle.
Whangarei District Council went out to tender worldwide. It was a worldwide tender basically. So what they did is they put out some documents that contractors could respond to. And we received about 11 responses, I think it was altogether, that were reasonably accurate. And then from those 11, we whittled them down to 6 to interview.
I was contacted by Peters and Chung, the structural designers. They were looking for some assistance with a moving bridge project that they'd heard was going to be going out to tender. They teamed up with McConnell Dowell, and they were looking for some assistance on the architectural and also the mechanical design.
Martin Knight, the architect, and Michael Thorogood, the mechanical engineer, that actually built 20 or 30 moving bridges before in England and around the world, and so they had the experience of building moving bridges. And I think ours is about the 2nd or 3rd moving bridge ever built in New Zealand.
I started scratching my chin thinking, well, how the heck are we going to make it roll back? How the heck are we going to push it up? How are we going to make it roll back seamlessly? How are we going to work out the centre of gravity? All of these types of things. So it was really difficult to try and understand the engineering that was going to come to bear when you had a line diagram that looked like, just a line diagram. It wasn't a CAD drawing. It was just somebody had filled it in with a thick leaded crayon, and it looked fantastic. But now we have to turn that into reality.
I mean, the bascule itself is about 380 tons. Almost 50% of that is in the 2 arms that you see up there. There's 120 tons alone in those 2 arms, which is the counterweight.
The opening mechanism itself is just purely 2 rams and a counterbalance system. So the counterbalance system is there to take a lot of the weight off the rams and support it through its track. It's not actually hinged, it's literally rolls free back through the teeth. There's no actual pivot point. So that's quite a clever design in that aspect. It takes a lot of the weight and that mechanical maintenance out of it.
Each ram has a capacity of 1400 kilonewtons. It's not going to use that when they're operating. The reason why it's such a high capacity is that we've made the bridge to operate with only one ram in case one ram fails.
Probably the biggest challenge in this project was the safety aspect of the whole bridge, not only from a public point of view, but also to protect the mechanical part of the bridge, the hydraulics. We did a risk assessment right at the start of the project. It was very important to use a safety controller.
The control panel that you see here is set up by Mackay's to make sure that they've got interlocks in place. So as soon as pretty much 30 knot winds are peaking, the computer will shut itself out, so the operator actually can't open in those conditions.
On the eastern abutment, where we have the refuse, reclaimed land refuse, we have what's called an EPS. It's a polystyrene block fill. There, massive blocks are put down, and what it does is basically reduces the weight of the load on the abutment, which will reduce settlement, and then the road is built over that, over a concrete cap.
Little old Whangarei has got something that is actually, you know, an iconic, internationally recognised structure, and I think that's something that not a lot of other places would have.
You guys, as ratepayers of Whangarei, had a lot of courage and a lot of faith in your council. I know there was a lot of negative publicity, but I think what I've seen since it's built is it's all positive, really fantastic.
My children now are getting very annoyed with me that every time I'm going to town I want to drive over this bridge. So yeah, there's a feeling of pride, of course, being involved in such a remarkable project.
We've had comments come back from UK-based guys, Martin Knight, that's saying, you know, this is some of the better workmanship that they've seen, and those sort of comments coming back, you know, they do make you feel pretty good about what you've achieved here.
To meet the budget, to meet the deadline, and to make it look as good as it should look, and world class, job done.